Chapter 21. Less than 100 yards away, Willi Staub was annoyed. He had planned to call Ito 5 minutes earlier, but all the phone booths on the first floor of the International Arrivals building had been occupied. Irritated that he was behind schedule, he dialed the number of the warehouse, hung up after 4 rings, and dialed it again. The cautious Japanese engineer picked up the telephone, but didn't say anything. He wasn't taking any chances, wasn't exposing anything, not even his voice. He waited for Staub to speak first. Extension 6, Staub said, as the agreed password. I will try it for you. Ito responded in countersign. What do you hear from the cab? The city will deliver the 3 packages, he reported. But there's no word on the other 4. Your friend, Frank, has asked for them, urgently. Staub didn't give a damn about the trio in city hands. It was the 4 in federal custody who mattered. He wasn't going to tell that to Ito or anyone else. To do so might expose the basis of the entire operation and compromise the rich and powerful man who had ordered it. That would endanger Staub's $5 million fee and perhaps Willi Staub himself. How about the birds? Staub asked. They are getting tired and thirsty. They might start dropping in about 63 minutes. It sounds as if Frank is worried about that. His daughter is involved with the birds. Ha! Wonderful. Do you think that will make him cooperative? It should, but I wouldn't count on it. Would you? I don't count on anything I can't touch, Staub said candidly. Is Frank trying to reach me? Yes, but he doesn't know how to spell your name, so he can't find your number. Too bad, Staub mocked. Maybe I'll call him. In 12 minutes, according to the plan. Takeshi Ito didn't say that aloud. You couldn't know who might be listening on a wiretap. By the way, the electronic warfare specialist said, your friend in the trucking business phoned 5 minutes ago. We only spoke briefly. He's working tonight. Staub smiled. That truck and driver were important. Excellent, he told Ito. How are things with you? The man in the warehouse studied the monitors linked to the television cameras sweeping the streets outside. Until the temperature dropped so drastically last week, a skinny prostitute had been working almost every night in a doorway barely 20 feet from the terrorists' covert base. It had been depressing to watch her sell her services again and again. Neither the whore nor anyone else loitered within range of the security cameras tonight. Not in this storm. It is all quiet, the Japanese said soberly. There is nothing but snow on the streets. It's much more crowded here. A lot of Frank's friends just arrived. Is it uncomfortable? Ito tested. No way. Staub answered confidently, enjoying his mastery of the American usage. It was one of many phrases and idioms that he had acquired from years of listening to U.S. Armed Forces radio in several countries. I'll catch you later, he concluded and hung up. In 49 minutes, Takeshi Ito thought. Then he studied each of the monitors again and looked around the warehouse. He eyed the bed, lamp, armchair and table, the weapons, ammunition and big rack crammed with sophisticated electronics equipment, the generator and drums of fuel that fed it, and the 2 large fire extinguishers. Ito wasn't the sort of person who took chances. He wouldn't risk an accidental blaze interfering with his work. It seemed wasteful to destroy all of this, but the plan required total demolition of the building and its contents. He had to stick to the plan, of course. Even before he'd entered high school, he'd learned how incorrect it was to deviate. That was not the Japanese way. He was a terrorist out to smash Japan's economic and social system, but a Japanese terrorist. All the charges were in place, incendiary and explosive. The timers were attached, a primary and backup for each. He had checked and rechecked them carefully. He could set the 7 delayed action fuses in 1 minute and 50 seconds. By the time they went off, Takeshi Ito would be in a jet hundreds of miles outside US airspace, with 3 forged passports and $1 million for the Red Army. His eyes went to the television screens once more. It looked so peaceful outside, he thought. There was beauty in those fluttering snowflakes. Then he sighed and thought about the prostitute. In the cab atop the Kennedy Tower, the printer had been grinding out messages for nearly 6 minutes. Now it fell silent, and Annie Green walked back to speak to her former lover. "Frank, the fuel figures on the last 4 planes just came in. The Concorde isn't the lowest in flying time anymore." She was frightened. He could see it. "TWA 22? He guessed. She nodded. "Assuming that they've been flying at minimum cruise speed to conserve fuel since the jamming started, they're going to run out at about 9:47, she said. Frank Malone thought of his daughter. No, there wasn't time for that. He had to concentrate on facts, not emotion. He looked at his watch and saw that it was 8:49. TWA 22 Heavy, no, the first plane, would crash in 58 minutes.